Hey guys, Tracy here with the House of Chuckles, and today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to show you how to make your own mannequin heads. Now, I've been kind of called out on the styrofoam heads that I have on some of my masks, and I just want to point out that I only use them temporarily. Unfortunately, some of these have been sitting there for longer than I would like. But let's talk about styrofoam heads for a minute. If you have a vinyl mask, the vinyl mask will actually melt the styrofoam if you leave it on too long. So there's a chemical reaction that's happening with the vinyl and the styrofoam, and you'll actually melt. The mask will kind of melt too. You can get it off, but it's the styrofoam itself that is melting. Now, I know there's a lot of people that don't like styrofoam heads on their latex masks, and I don't blame them, because if you've had that issue with the vinyl, who knows what it's doing to the latex. So, that said, I for years struggled with different methods of of displaying my masks, and glass would be fantastic, except they're pretty pricey. Wood, if it's bare wood, I'm okay with, but I've had some people talk about that the woods produce oils out of the wood, saps out of the wood. Yeah, saps maybe, oil I'm not sure about. But oils do deteriorate latex. Paints, anything that's been painted. Plastics, those are petroleum products, even a plastic bag. Well, petroleum is oil, and so I have concerns whether even plastic might possibly start to deteriorate the latex. Now, when I do my mask review, I just want to point out that before I do a mask review, I wash my hands really good, because I want to get the oils off my hands. But when I'm handling the masks off camera, I'm actually wearing latex gloves. I try not to handle my masks, with my bare hands, because oils eventually will deteriorate the mask. So, all that said, what I came up with, and if anybody has anything to contradict it, let me know. But what I use is a 4-inch paper tube, and I get these from Uline. So it is 4 inches inside diameter, I believe. I buy the ones that are 36 inches long. I'm able to cut this into 3, so I can use it for 3 different masks. They cost $2.07 each on Uline, but you've got to buy a box of 25. I just got another box in today. The total cost with shipping and tax to me here in Utah was $79.09. If you divide that by 25 and divide it by 3, because you'd be able to get 75 heads or displays out of it, comes out to $1.06 each. Now that's pretty good, considering you pay $3, $4, $5 each for these if you're having them shipped in. So this is a great way to go. It's paper. Paper, in my thoughts, is going to absorb moisture as well. So this is what I use. Now, let me show you how I do this. What I do is I just take a mask and I place it on the pole. I kind of adjust it to what I want it to look like when it's up on display. And then I take a pencil and I mark where I want it to be cut. I like them cut pretty much right at where it's going to be sitting. So we just give it a little mark. You probably can't see the mark, but I did a little pencil mark there. Now the very first one I ever did, so if you're getting a bunch of these, the very first one I ever did, I took just a piece of paper and I wrapped it around and leveled it out. And it didn't reach all the way around, so I just kind of eyeballed to make sure that it was level. Then I took a pencil and I marked around it, straightened it out, across the gap that I had, and marked it that way. But as time went by, I had little end pieces that were left. So I just split the end piece, and I took and I marked just it's got a little mark there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a little mark there, a little X, a little red X. That was where the factory cut was. Yeah, it's pretty pretty level there. So I just slide that on to the tube, find my mark, and again I still eyeball to make sure that the gap is even, and then I just take my pencil and mark it all the way around, and then where the little gap is, I just twist it and mark it again. So now I've got a pretty level circle all the way around. Then I take a utility knife with a brand new blade. If you got a dull blade, it's going to be tougher. This is a little hard to do, but I've tried saws of different types, and typically they rip it apart. And if you try a hacksaw, it typically wants to jeer off to one end or the other. It doesn't want to cut very straight. So unfortunately, I use a utility knife. Most people have one of those, so I grasp it underneath my arm and shoulder, and then I just cut. You're probably not seeing that too well, but I just cut down the line and just keep going. And that's it. It was that simple. You can place your head on there. And you're good to go. Now if you wanted to, I don't ever paint these, and if I wanted to get some color in the back, honestly I would just take a piece of colored paper and tape it to the tube. Again, paints, I'm concerned what may be in the paint. So if the paint is against this, even if it's a latex paint, I'm just paranoid, man. I just don't want anything to be deteriorating these masks. I want to make sure that they're preserved the best way possible. So anyhow, guys, that's how I make my heads. And the one great thing about it is if you have some really tall ones, you know, let's see, nope, you can't see them, but I've got some tall ones up on the top shelf. You know, some of those, like the Killer Clowns, they're pretty tall. It works great for them as well, you know. So anyways, that's how I do it. If you have any thoughts or, you know, ideas, or if you think I'm totally doing it wrong, let me know. Anyhow, guys, have a great day. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to put this up today. Tomorrow's still Thanksgiving, and I will do something for Thanksgiving as well. So, guys, have a good one. We'll see you soon.